Would you support the elimination of the Department of Education?
I don't think it's any secret to people that we have a problem with federal education. And one of the problems is that they are stepping into states' rights. Now, there's some good things that can be done in D.C., but they need to do only what they're responsible for. And they are not responsible for our children's education. We are. And we've got to hold our own state responsible for that as well. Because that is a state's right. That comes back to the school board. And when I know that Lynn understands that, I've been fortunate as a trustee for Polk State to serve whenever Lynn actually chaired the Senate faculty. He knows the numbers, and he knows where the responsibility lies. Now, there are needs that the school boards have that the federal government can do. And that's a good thing. But they've overstepped their boundaries, and we need to put them back in. So I would be in favor of the true boundaries of the National Board of Education. And there's many agencies that are being discussed that are actually better served by a different style of agency. And if that's where we have to go, that's where we'll go. But we need to go back to where they are not controlling our children outside of their purview. There's some good things that education can do nationally, but they've overstepped their bounds. And it's time, when the federal government oversteps its bounds, that we step up. And that's where I stand.
Department of Education, just like other agencies, needs to go away. We need to understand that we are responsible for our children's education. All my children went through public school, but I couldn't rely on the public school to do everything. I had to be there. I had to be at the meetings. I had to make sure that they did their homework. I mean, that's, as a parent, that is our prime responsibility, to make sure that after they finish, then they're going to college and they're following their dream as to where they want to go. And I think that we have looked at a government that has definitely overstepped their bounds when it comes to Common Core and issues that are affecting us here in the state of Florida and in many other states. There are other ways of doing things. I worked as a board member with Mavericks Charter School with Commissioner Frank Atkinson. And I understand school choice. And I believe in school choice. I believe that our children should have that same opportunity. You say, why do I say that? What's the big deal about our district? Well, I know many of you understand that our district is a majority-minority district. And that I know for a fact that 52% of our children in the Hispanic districts are failing school. That's not acceptable to me. As an American first, but also as a Latino by culture, that's not acceptable. What's the problem? The problem is I talk to many of these parents who have bought into the idea that this country is racist because they want us to speak English. And I tell them, no, that's not what the problem is. The problem is your children need to learn how to speak English so that they can have opportunity. It's not the government. It's not the federal government's choice. It is us as parents. Here in the state of Florida, we have some issues, and I'm glad that Senator Rosa's here and that he's listening to this, because I think it's really, really key that this message is heard, not just in the state of Florida, but throughout our nation. I think we need to be given that same choice. I think there's lots of opportunity, but as long as the government continues to intervene, to work against us, to work against the family, to work against what we believe in, it's going to be a problem. So for me, it would be no problem to put the delete button and just get rid of the Department of Education.
Education, in my view, is the sole province of parents and local school boards, and that's where responsibility for education belongs. So the short answer to the question is yes. After eliminating all the administrative undergirding of the Department of Education, I would certainly vote to eliminate it, because education is a responsibility of parents and school boards. Furthermore, if elected, you have my assurance that I will either file a bill or co-sponsor a bill to defund Common Core. I understand that we gave our state legislature an opportunity to take care of that and to kind of get away from Common Core, and we rebranded it and called it the Florida Standards, but still under those same principles. And I understand that with a lot of these federal programs and with a lot of these federal agencies, what kills them is the funding. So that's where we have to go, and that's what we have to enact. We have to enact a defund strategy against the Department of Education and against Common Core. That's what I vow to do.